Have you recently gotten stuck with an audit or an inspection on your insurance policy? Does it seem like your insurance company is getting aggressively demanding lately? Are you getting cancel notices or big non compliant audit fees because you didn't comply? Okay, that's a lot of questions. But if you've had any of these, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Eli Gillespie, and I'm the owner of Gillespie Insurance Services in Redlands, California. And today we're going to talk about audits and inspections. I'm going to talk about what is going on in the insurance market that is causing this uptick and what you can do about it. So here's what's going on. In the last few years, insurance have been conducting more audits and inspections on their policyholders than they did in the past. While audits and inspections have always been a right reserved by the insurance company on any policy they've issued, they didn't always act on that right. But now, insurers are acting on that right much more frequently. So if you haven't gotten one, you probably will. Whatever policy you have, workers' comp, property, general liability, pollution, employment practices liability, and even business auto, yes, business auto, is subject to your insurer contacting you to set up an audit or an inspection. This begs the question, why? Why all the audits and inspections lately? Let's start with the root cause, fire. Specifically, wildfires, particularly in California, that result in insurance claims, burned down buildings. Without going into too much detail, and there is a lot of detail, wildfires are a main driver of that change in the insurance market. I wrote a blog about it a couple years ago, and you can check it out here if you want. Fires have changed the insurance market from a competitive soft market to an uncompetitive hard market. What is a soft market? What is a hard market? A soft market is when the market is good. Insurers are profitable and they compete for the business, your business, by lowering rates, offering a broader array of coverages, and they make it easy to qualify. More insurers jump into the market and grab that market share, which gives you a wide variety of insurance options. A hard market, on the other hand, is just the opposite. The market is bad. Insurers are not profitable, and they do whatever they can to make sure that the policies they have on the books, whether existing or new, if they choose to write new business at all, will make or keep them profitable. Those insurers that venture into the market raise rates and reduce coverage. Their policies often have more exclusions and limitations. They may have a higher deductible as well. They may even offer less flexible payment options, requiring you to pay more money up front. And in a hard market, they tighten up their underwriting guidelines. They make it harder for you to qualify. They do what they can to reduce losses. They verify the accuracy of the information their policyholders tell them, and they do it through audits and inspections, which takes us to the main point of this video. What actually are audits and inspections? An audit is when an insurer kindly asks or demands that you, the policyholder, provide the information or documentation to cross-reference it with the information you gave them at the beginning of the policy period. They want to know if the numbers you provided when you started your policy are correct or if they need to be changed. The purpose of an audit is to charge accurate premium based on the size of your business. In order to do that, you show them the numbers. For example, on a workers' comp policy, they will verify if the payroll you provided is correct. If it's a general liability policy we're talking about, they'll verify if the annual gross revenue you provided is correct. If you're a contractor, they may throw in a few more things. They may want to know about subcontractors you've used and if you've collected certificates of insurance from your subs. An inspection is when the insurer takes a look at that thing you are insuring, whether it's your place of business, the building you're in, the item you're insuring, the piece of equipment, to make sure it is insurable and in good condition, safe, up to code, and doesn't create any unforeseen hazards or surprises. It can be a virtual inspection using mapping software, or they may send a person to come out and physically look at your location, your building, or your other item. The purpose of the inspection is risk management to reduce the chance of a claim occurring. What do they look for? Things that can lead to claims. For example, they'll check on the condition of your property. They'll check for cracks in the pavements, broken windows, expired fire hydrants, out-of-date Ansel systems if you're a restaurant, debris laying around, and other trip hazards, unrepaired damage, conditions that can lead to damage, and more. They'll even look at the conditions of other locations surrounding your location. So now that I've explained what is happening and why, let's look at what we can do when faced with an audit or an inspection to make it go over as smooth as possible. The first thing is you need to comply. You can't ignore an audit or an inspection request. We know this is not something that you probably want to hear. Many longtime policyholders are surprised or offended when they get the notice. Others feel like it's a waste of time. They've never had to deal with an audit or an inspection in the past, so why should they now? But if you don't comply with the audit or the inspection, you'll find yourself with one of the following outcomes. 1, non-compliant surcharge in the case of an audit, which often doubles the premium, doubles. Non-compliant surcharges are common with workers' comp, but we've seen it happening in other lines of business like general liability as well. Number 2, you could get a midterm cancellation. They'll just cancel you right there in the middle of the policy term for not complying with the inspection or the audit. Number 3, both. You'll get 1 and 2, the fee and the cancellation at the same time. Every audit and inspection has a deadline. Inspections will often have mandatory recommendations, so make sure you complete these things on time. Second, the auditor or inspector will reach out to you. They usually won't be someone from your insurance company. They will come typically from a third-party administrator that your insurer hires, so you probably will not recognize the name of the person or the company they're from. They'll call or email you. So this is pretty basic information. So why am I talking about it? Well, that's because in an era of spammers, fraudsters, and an overabundance of mass communication, people don't answer their phones or read their emails unless it's someone that they already know. Over the last few years in this agency, we've seen an unprecedented number of calls from the insurer telling us agents that the policyholder is non-responsive. So, our advice is to slow down when deleting emails and voicemails and pay attention to the fact that an auditor or an inspector representing an insurance company may be trying to reach out to you. Okay, great, but when should you expect to hear from them? Inspectors typically reach out right after your policy inception, and auditors typically reach out right after your old policy's expiration, which is ironically the same time period. So you may be hearing from two separate people at the same time, the inspector for your new policy and the auditor on your old policy. Third, note that your insurance agent does not initiate, conduct, or set up your audits or inspections. If you have a good agent, he or she is there to advise and advocate on your behalf, as well as facilitate communication between you and the auditors and inspectors if needed. That's what we do at Gillespie Insurance Services. Also note that agents don't have the ability to override, reduce, eliminate, or cancel an audit or an inspection. How a good agent can help is if something doesn't look right. Your policy jumps from $2,000 to $20,000. What went wrong? We can help. Did you send the right form? Did you make a mistake in your reporting? Did the inspector not receive your email? Unusual activity or massive mandatory recommendations required in a short amount of time is usually when an agent can get involved. Use your agent for these types of things: help, guidance, advice, oversight. So those are my 3 tips. But if you follow my advice, pay attention to your communication devices, act promptly, and comply with the recommendations, you'll do just fine. And use your agent as a resource to help you along through the process. In closing, it is possible that this era of mass audits and inspections will come to an end, although I wouldn't expect it too soon. It is in the hard market when these insurer-induced, heavy-handed actions exist, and it is in the soft market when they tend to go away somewhat. But the future is unknown, and there are lots of factors that play into why an insurer takes the actions it takes. Lastly, if you're looking for any advice or need help on your audit or inspection, or if you're looking for a quote on any property and casualty policy, whether it be workers' comp, property, general liability, or auto, please reach out. Here's how to do it. Just go to our website, GillespieInsuranceServices.com, and click on the upper right button, get a quote, and just fill out this form that shows up. Fill out as much as you would like to. Hit submit, and it'll go to one of our agents who will reach out to you and see if we can help. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.